Hey, so this is my first transitioning video. I am officially week 1, shot 1. I did my first shot on Tuesday night. Wednesday, I think, is going to be my regular day instead of Tuesday. I was just really hyped for it when I got the hormones after waiting for what felt like years. So I did it as soon as I went home that night. I am currently prescribed 0.25, and that's once a week. We'll see where that goes. I do I don't know if anyone really cares, but I do the in the muscle one. I do not do the in the fat one, just because the in the muscle one I could stick into my leg. I didn't like the idea of sticking myself in the stomach. I'm not really sure why, but I just prefer the in muscle one so far. It pinched going in, and then the actual like testosterone burned a little, but otherwise like it was fine. It didn't really bother me. I don't know what to say. I'm really excited maybe to see how my voice changes and how my face changes. I think those are the two things. The third thing would be like the fat redistribution, just because I have fairly big hips and I'm hoping that kind of redistributes so I don't have that womanly shape anymore. I guess just for a little bit of backstory, because some people think like this is coming out of nowhere. I have officially, like, knowing what the term was, identified as transgender since I was approximately 14, 15. Before that, I can remember as early as 6, knowing, like, I didn't feel like a girl, but obviously, like, a 6-year-old, I didn't know what that term was. And everyone just called me a tomboy. And that was that. It wasn't until obviously I was a teenager and I got onto the internet and started, looking things up, that I realized that it was more than just being a tomboy. I came out to family and friends when I was in high school. I spent several years just not telling people, and like keeping that a secret in real life and living more my true self online. I came out to like family and friends when I was in high school. For the most part, it went fine. Like, I don't really, went fine as in, like, I didn't get kicked out of my house, but there was definitely, at that time, some issues, particularly between my father and I. He's a very religious individual, and he was convinced, that this was me having the devil in me and I needed to go talk to a priest, that kind of stuff. We moved beyond that. However, as I got into my late 20s and into my 30s, it became I guess, reoccurring. It was not like several times reoccurring, but I had 2 boyfriends back to back who, like, I came out to. I told them, like, this is me, like, very early on. I'm like, so if you the straight white man I think you are and you're not into that, that's fine. But, like, I'm putting this out here. And both times they're like, no, that's cool, I love you. And then proceeded to spend the entire relationship misgendering me, and I was the girlfriend and everything else. And at that time with both those individuals, like, I just accepted it. Like, I was just so desperate to be loved and be wanted that I was like, well, this is how I can get it. It wasn't until I broke up with that second individual where I was, like, having a really hard time, and I didn't feel like I knew myself anymore. And I realized that, like, between these 2 relationships, like, I had just thrown my entire identity into the trash trying to be loved. So now I am 32, had to come back out of the closet because like none of my current coworkers or most of my current friends knew like about me. So came back out of the closet at 32. You know, I came out at 16, went back into it at like 25, and then came back out at 32. So I get to brag about that. I came out of the closet twice. So at this point in my life, I'm like, I'm going to be me. Like, and if people don't like that, they don't like that. If people don't want to love me, they don't want to be with me, that's fine. Because I'm tired of putting myself aside to try and please these people. And what did it get me? Like, we've seen what the last relationship got me. It got me cheated on and, you know, emotionally abused. And like, no, what benefit did I get giving up my entire identity for that person? And like the relationship before that, was about the same. I don't think it was as extreme, but it definitely, like, I see the second one aging into the first one, if that makes sense, because the first one in these two relationships was older. I see them being the same person, just at different stages in their life. So that's great for them. I wish them the best, and I hope they never talk to me again, but, you know, that's that. So yeah, it's not coming out nowhere. I've identified as this since I was like 16, technically, you know, 7, if we count the years where I didn't have a word for it. And it's just my true, genuine self is transgender. I identify as a male. I primarily use male pronouns. I do also use they, them, though it's primarily he, him, but either of those is acceptable. As far as, like, because this has been brought up before by people, because they'll be like, you identify as he, him, but you wear girls' clothing. And I'm like, well, what about it makes it girls' clothing, other than the fact that it was hanging in a section called girls, and the tag on it maybe said girls? Like, does that shirt know I'm not a girl? Like, for me, clothes shouldn't be gendered, so I just wear whatever I want to wear. So yeah, you might catch me in a dress. Does that mean I don't want to be a male? I don't identify as a male? No. I do plan to get top surgery. That's something I'm discussing with my doctor, trying to find local surgeons, figure out pricing, that kind of stuff, so I can start saving up for it. I have, at this time, absolutely no desire for bottom surgery. That is no hate against people who have gotten it. I wish, I guess, our bottom surgery was more progressive than where we're currently at. Like, it's 2024, and I just feel like bottom surgery should be well beyond where it's at. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Like, right now, I'm not interested in having bottom surgery. I'm 100% interested in having top surgery. So yeah, this is week 1, shot 1, and I will check in next week, and we'll track this journey and see what changes. I haven't really noticed any changes. I didn't expect any changes with it being week 1. I think maybe my voice keeps cracking, but then I'm like, nah, there's no way in week 1, shot 1, your voice is cracking. It's cold out. It's a cold. So, leave comments if you have any questions I could answer. But besides that, like, we'll see where this goes.